the night, bump in the night. Did you hear a bump in the night? Bump in the night, bump in the night. Bump in the night, bump in the night. Did you hear a bump in the night? Bump in the night, bump in the night.
Bump in the Night Society presents Exploring Your Society. I'm your host, Sean Bowman.
I'm your co-host, Phil K.
Mikey.
Guest host, Mikey.
Tonight we have Paranormal Quest with us. Dave and Ryan, say what's up, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Can I just say that you guys dug for those photos? Like that photo of us on the railroad track, that was taken in 2011, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
That is some history right there.
I always try to find the most embarrassing photos I can.
Let me just say, though, the video in the sombrero with the lime, that was actually Jason, not me. So,
Really?
But
I was going to say, yeah, it didn't look like you.
Yeah.
that was his birthday fiesta.
Oh,
Now, are you guys twins or something? Or
People say that we're brothers all the time, and we definitely see it, but funny enough, yeah, we're not related at all, as weird as it is.
Because I did kind of think that I was like, is that him? I'm not sure if it's him or not. But I was just like going through your old pictures. I was like, that picture looks funny, so I'll post it.
Hey, you know, it's one of the blonde guys that's on the show, and it works.
Yeah.
So anyway, why don't you tell us about Paranormal Quest?
How about it? Dave always says that I'm the better storyteller, so I'll go ahead and jump in and tell the story. So we all met. We always like to joke and say that we all met in prison, and that is really true, but not entirely true. I mean, it is a closed down prison. We all worked at the former West Virginia Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia, and I started working there around 2008 and met Dave in late 2008. He and his mom, Polly Gear, had a paranormal group called Mountaineer Paranormal. And you may, if you've heard anything about the West Virginia Penitentiary, you know Polly Gear, but you may not know that you know Polly Gear. And that is because Polly Gear captured the famous Shadow Man photograph inside the West Virginia Penitentiary. So that was his mom. And from that, they got to come on all the public ghost hunts. And so we met in prison on the overnight ghost hunts. Steve worked there, and we met Jason in 2009 at the penitentiary. He came on his own private paranormal investigation there, and then he eventually joined us on Paranormal Quest in 2017. So, yeah. But we all had a passion when we met. We became best friends, and the three of us, Steve, Dave, and I, when we started it in 2010, we had this vision for a video project that surrounded paranormal investigation, where we could take cameras along on our quest and try and capture and document paranormal activity, or even just our experiences, so to speak. Our experiences and what we saw, what we felt, kind of like a video diary in a way back then. And in fact, the original name for the show that we were going to make was Mountaineer Paranormal Diaries. Funny enough, that's kicking it way back, like 2009 or something. So,
not many people know that.
No, we only ever made one video of those, and it was at the West Virginia Penitentiary.
I'll have to dig that up sometime.
Yeah. If you can find it. I don't even know if it's on YouTube anymore, to be honest.
Well, you saw how I found them pictures. So.
Yeah, I know.
He has his ways.
So, but yeah, and then we decided we were going to create this video project called Paranormal Quest, and it started out, we filmed, I think, 3, 4, maybe like 5 or 6 first season investigations. And it was originally going to be broadcast on a local television network through a university nearby in Wheeling, West Virginia. And when that fell through and they didn't actually end up broadcasting it, we said, you know what, we have these videos, let's just start something different. And back then in 2010 and 2011, YouTube was not really as big as it is now. I mean, it was big, but it wasn't anywhere near like it is now. So we said, why don't we put these on YouTube and see where it goes? And we kept making them. And we kept making them throughout the years that I went to college. I went to film school, and when Dave was living in Clarksburg, and around 2017 was when we really decided to focus on it heavily, and that's when Dave and I moved in together as roommates to focus on the show. And here we are 6 years later, 6 years later, we're still roommates. We still have the Paranormal Quest office, and I think we have over almost 200 full-length episodes on YouTube now. So
Now you guys do this full time.
we do.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Can you tell we spend too much time together? Yeah, no, we started doing this full time. I mean, we were really doing it full time on top of having full-time jobs throughout the year of 2020 and 2021. Prior to that, we would put out maybe like 6 episodes a year, I want to say, to 7 episodes a year. It was like we put out a video maybe once a month or once every other month, but it was never really a full-time grind. And then 2020, the pandemic hit, and we decided that we were going to use that opportunity because we, of course, weren't going to work because everything was shut down. Lockdowns happened, and we were like, you know what, let's focus on the YouTube channel. And then the lockdown lifted, and we ended up going back to work. And so we were pulling, I would say 40 to 50 hours a week at our jobs, and then 60 to 70 hours a week on the channel, and only sleeping 2 hours a night. And we did that for a full year.
Holy
and
shit.
traveling all the time, and we just got to an impasse where we were like, we can't do this anymore. We can't continue to survive on 2 hours of sleep a night. And so we decided to quit our jobs and jump in head first.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I know that the doing the YouTube thing for a lot of people is, you know, just go out and have fun with it and film it and upload it, but Ryan and I are very much perfectionists, so we can't, we have to just take our time on it and focus on every little thing. And that's why it takes us forever to film something. And when we're collabing with people, we're like, God, you guys take forever. But we really like to set our mind to it and just focus on it. And I think that's what's led to it lasting so long for us, being able to do it, because we get to do it the way that we set out and intended to do it, you know, just never do anything halfway, just go full bore on everything.
Yeah, we had this vision whenever we started that we wanted to create a project that looked like, of course it didn't originally, but we were like, you know, we want to try and make it look like it's a TV show.
Yeah.
And that was always the idea going in, and we've worked very hard over the years to try and hone our skills to make people feel like when they click on our videos, they're like, wow, we're watching the Travel Channel or Discovery, or we're watching something that's on TV. And I don't know if we're there yet or how other people view it, but I feel like for the time that we have to put it together, because it's a 1 week turnaround usually. So
that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, it takes me weeks to do any of it for sure.
Yeah, like this one that I'm working on now that we just announced today, believe it or not, we just posted the thumbnail. We went to Colorado and collaborated with Paranormal Encounters, another fantastic channel, but we shared 2 buildings on the Holy Cross Abbey complex out there in Canyon City, Colorado. And I started putting that together on late Sunday night. And, you know, it's been about 50 hours so far this week, and it's only Wednesday that I've been working on editing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Crazy.
Hoping to get it done late tonight or tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's I have about 45, 46 minutes of it done, and that's every week. It is a grind, but we love what we do. We wouldn't want to do anything else. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I told Sean going into this, I was like, this is one of the paranormal teams, because I don't really watch a lot. Like,
Mikey doesn't usually host either. It's usually me and Phil, but Mikey.
Yeah, I was like, these guys do it right. Like, the first time I saw you guys was on Paranormal Caught on Camera. You had that one where you were out at the, it was like a shack in the middle of West Virginia, and that I forget, I can't remember everything. It had like a coin that you guys found, and
the cursed cabin.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, these guys are good. So I looked up some of your stuff on YouTube, and I was like, wow, these guys do it right. And I really respect it for sure.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
One question I have for you guys is, like, because I put a lot of our stuff together with the documentaries, and one thing I always find myself, I want to put everything as far as evidence goes into the episode, so it ends up being like 2 hours long or 2.5 hours long. So I just want to ask, like, as far as evidence goes, typically, I mean, every location's different, but typically, like, how much would you say you put in of everything that you got at a location? And then how do you decipher what to put in and what not to put in when you're kind of going through evidence?
Yeah, really. The whole most of the time we do get to include a lot of the evidence. I mean, there's some strange pops, knocks, bangs, buildings settling, that sort of thing that we don't include just because of the sheer amount. When we do our abandonment, I mean, the number of little tiny clicks, pops, and bangs that you get in some of these buildings, if we included all of it, it would be like you said, a 2-hour long video. But I think in my brain, when I'm sitting in front of the edit bay and I'm working on it, I really try and lean into what is going to drive the story, because I look at every single paranormal investigation that we do as a story to be told, and a real life story. You know, these are real things that happen to us, and it's like, if I see something and I'm like, well, are people really going to care that we had a camera set up in the hallway and there was a little tiny pop in the ceiling above it? Probably not. It's not going to drive the story forward. So from a filmmaker's point of view, it's like, we really try to include everything that we find relevant to the story of our investigation. And I think that's really what's driven us along for many years, is just to engross, when I'm editing, engross myself, when Dave's reviewing, engross himself into what happened that night, what correlates, what happened prior to us capturing that we could connect, with it, So, and I think that's half the fun of making the videos, is just the storytelling. And, ever since I was a kid, and I know Dave's the same way, we've always loved movies, and becoming documentary filmmakers in our own, I guess, way with YouTube. It's always been about telling the story, and because we know what happened, but we want other people to enjoy the story. And so we've had other people tell us that our videos are boring because we don't.
I get that all the time too. Sean tells me mine's boring too.
Screaming our heads off, but we're not being possessed by the devil incarnate every episode.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I always say you guys are doing it the right way, because I hate that, like, made for TV. Oh, we got to do jump scares all the time. Like, if you're seeking the paranormal, why are you afraid when the paranormal comes?
Right.
Unless something crazy happens. I get that. But.
Yeah. I will say we've had a couple of moments where we've had startles. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the activity, I think, really excites us more than scares us. So, but Dave, do you remember a moment where you were particularly startled by something? And it doesn't have to be terrible. That's always fun too, when you just have the crap scared out of you. I don't know how, I don't want to curse on your.
No, you
we're on filter list. You're good.
Yeah, we don't give a shit. Go for it.
I would say like 90% of me getting scared always comes back to some bug, a spider or a cave.
Oh, I think you guys froze.
Uh-oh.
I was frozen there for a second too.
Yeah.
So, guys, how are you?
Yeah. I'm wondering if the cat did something with the internet.
Yeah, we should probably message on the private chat.
So, how are you guys doing?
I agree with Garrett's comment there. Fear is an illusion. Like, when we go into these investigations, you have to go in just 100%, not be afraid, encounter what you encounter, and go from there and try to analyze everything.
Yeah, he said 1 second, cat issues, because he just messaged me.
I knew the cat.
So anybody that's watching, he'll be right back.
And Mikey, even to capitalize on what you just said, it's like, you're going into a haunted location. Something's going to happen. Something could happen. You just have to prepare for it. And I'm slowly starting to get better at it.
Well, your recovery at the pickle jar, I was proud of you. Whenever the lady got thrown into the table, and you're like, "We should go," and I'm like, "Yeah, we should investigate. Let's get it."
Exactly. Oh, thank you, man. And I was even thinking, like, we're here to capture stuff. This is gonna happen, and that was a cool shot. I'm happy that you had your camera set up perfect view for it, man. But the whole night was fantastic. I think that was just my startled reaction statement, so to speak.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it does. And the night was amazing. Hooray!
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Just happened. the cat stepped on the power strip that powers the computer and hit the reset switch and just powered the whole computer down.
That's as soon as you guys froze, I was like, I guarantee it was the cat.
It was the cat. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No. You may have to like repeat what you just said though, because it stopped like right in the beginning.
Okay. So I think I was talking about getting scared, but 90% of the time that I get scared is because of a spider or a bug or one that really stands out to me is when we were at ISS. Ryan forced me to go through the tunnels, and the tunnels at ISS are just filled with cave crickets, which are one of my biggest fears. And just the whole segment of that is me just screaming and just being terrified.
I should have sent you that, Sean, to release that whole segment on here because we only use maybe like 3 minutes of it, and then I cut away just for the time's sake of the episode. And I ended up using I echoed one of his screams and then pulled back to a drone shot of the whole building and the hills around it. And it sounded like it had the scream.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, it was just a full, I want to say like 5 to 7 minutes of me walking backwards with the camera in his face as he turned this way and screamed, and then he turned that way and screamed. And then
if you've never seen a cave cricket, look them up. They're creepy and they jump.
Oh yeah, we saw them before.
Well, me and Phil were at ISS before, and there was one down in the basement. We didn't go we went in the one tunnels where like the pipes are, but we didn't go in the other ones, which I think is the one you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. We saw them at Anchorage Mansion, Phil, when we went in the basement. They had a bunch of them. Yeah, they're pretty creepy. Anchorage Mansion, Marietta.
Yep.
You've been to the Anchorage? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing there. That's actually how I met Mikey and our buddy, Garrett and all that stuff too.
Yeah, Phil's first investigation was at Anchorage.
Yep. Hell yeah,
one of our favorite places. We love the hidden Marietta ladies.
Yeah.
Did you hit up the basement when you were there?
Yeah, we've been in there before, but I don't.
You didn't have the crickets? Oh, yeah, I remember them because I didn't know what the hell they were. I never saw them before, and I was like, "Is it a spider?"
We did the basement, I think, 2011 when we first investigated the Anchorage back before. I think it was just the Washington County Historical Society had it, and a guy named Tom Moore was running the investigations out of there. But then I think have they opened the basement back up? Because if so, we need to go back.
They told us that it was kind of a one-time thing. Like
Phil flirted with them.
So.
Apparently it worked. So.
Yeah, I was there with my wife, so Phil had to put on the charm.
It worked too, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, but that basement is really creepy down there. So.
Oh, definitely, yeah, for sure.
I want to go back there again. That place is beautiful. It really is.
It is. Yeah, they're going to be doing their Paracon this year. We'll be attending that if you all are going to be in the area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Hidden Marietta does a paranormal expo every year. I think they even got a bigger location this year to put it on, so they're going to have it's a really cool event. So if you get a chance, definitely go. But the thing that I remember about the Anchorage is for some reason, like we investigated there, like I said, in 2011, and I still remember a lot of the history of it down to the architect that designed the building. I have no idea why I retained that information.
Yeah, Ryan has the brain and I'm the goldfish. I don't remember anything.
So do you guys like delegate different roles to everybody or anything specific?
Well, I mean, Ryan does all of the editing, and I do like the review and stuff, and I do like the social media and looking for locations for the last decade, which has been a nightmare. And like booking all of the hotels and all the fun travel stuff, I'll do that. But I mean, besides that, it's just kind of the two of us doing everything. So it kind of turns into a lot, and you kind of get consumed in it and kind of lose your head for a while. And we're also doing the West Virginia Penitentiary Paracon in the background and working on some developments for may or may not be doing an app or something like that.
Okay. Cool.
But we just got all kinds of stuff in the background that we're doing. So
yeah, and just launched our website and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, when Jason comes along on investigations recently, when he comes when he can, and he'll review all the audio that's done. Like for Harriman, he was there, and he's going to take all the audio files and do the review for him. And so, but at this point, I feel like my role is to sit down, wrangle the video footage, and I sit in front of the computer for 60 to 70 hours a week. And then when Dave tells me it's time to go investigate, he rolls me out of the office and into the car.
It's crazy, man, how you mentioned that like you guys were running on like minimal sleep for an entire year. I'm sure that took a heavy toll on you guys too, just for doing that. I mean,
it did, yeah. It got to a very bad place mentally, is what I'll say. And I told Ryan, I was like, we're either doing the show or we're working, because I can't do both anymore. I'm gonna go nuts. So, and, he was in the same boat, just going absolutely crazy, working all those hours, editing and working our jobs, and we just decided to take a chance at it. And luckily, we've been lucky enough to have it stick so far.
Yeah, it's stayed afloat. I can't say that there haven't been moments where we're like, oh gosh, this is going into the gutter. This is washing down the drain quickly, because the YouTube algorithm it is a fickle beast. So
you guys have what, 130,000 subscribers?
Yeah, we just hit 130,000.
That's
congratulations.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
That's awesome, man.
It's been a whirlwind. Like we always said, whenever we started back in 2010, if you would have told us that, eventually we'd have 130,000 people that have liked our work enough to subscribe, we would just be absolutely blown away. So there's Tina.
Nice. That is
Tina
awesome.
is one of the inmates at the West Virginia Penitentiary. I mean, employees.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the little,
We definitely need to go back sometime. Our camera work was so shoddy.
Well, we had a camera guy that was working with us, and then he took all our footage, and we never got it. So
oh, that's no good.
And the footage I did was just, I don't know, it was terrible. We're getting better.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I always tell people is that the easiest way to actually pick up, to get better is just to do it. It's practice makes perfect, and that's why you go back and like we watch old episodes of ours, and I'm sure you guys are the same way. You watch old videos, and you're like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely, I can't believe I even put that out. I'm embarrassed to watch this. I can't get through 5 minutes, and like you go back into the 2018 era of ours. I can't even stand to watch it. So. But I guess that's the artist side of us, right? Because you're only satisfied for a minute with your work, and then you move on to something else, and you feel like you can do it better. And then when you do it better, you're like, huh, that was awful back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Being a first-time director, sometimes you make, and then it just, wow, now I'm actually good after 10 years. Holy hell.
I try to put out like old evidence clips every once in a while, and I'm like, man, my head's cut off in the shot. This evidence is awesome. I want to put it out, but it just looks so horrible.
Well, with having you guys on and having Mikey on, I know Mikey loves the Bel Air house, so I was going to show you a little TikTok from Bel Air, and I want to talk about that for a little bit.
It's my favorite location. I watched you guys' episode. It was awesome.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to go on here real quick.
Don't step on the power strip again. She's back.
All right.
Don't even think about it.
Many paranormal investigators have come here to try and find proof of the paranormal. And it's thought to be one of the most haunted houses in the world.
That's so cool.
Maybe a portal was open to the spirit world inside this house.
Whoa.
That right there is proof that there are entities here that could do harm if they wanted to. Now, whether they're still here or not remains to be seen. Because we'll find out tonight.
Whoa. What the
Oh my goodness.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, even back, like even watching that, I kind of cringe a little bit.
Everybody has a starting point, man.
So what did you guys experience there?
Oh, go ahead, Sean.
That particular moment there at the end was we had one of our action cameras charging on the chair over across the room, and we were both sitting down. We weren't moving, and all of a sudden that action cam just came flying off the chair and onto the floor. Which was really weird. Jason and Dave were down in the basement at the time, and the odd thing about it was they were experiencing this strange energy down there. And if you watch the episode, which was the second Bel Air House investigation that we did, I want to say, because we've done 2 and a solo, because Steve did a solo investigation there. So we've done two full episodes, and Steve did a solo there. But that would be the second one. And Dave and Jason were down there investigating, and they felt this energy down there. And Steve and I were sitting on the couch upstairs, and it's in sync. Dave goes, I just felt it leave. and then the camera falls off the chair. I mean,
Oh,
it was
wow.
like it was that quick. He's like, I just felt it leave, and then
Damn.
boom, upstairs something happens, which was pretty wild. So
It was odd.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I
Interesting
only saw
place.
your first episode. I didn't realize you guys went back. I'll have to check them out.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
did you get to interact with Emily at all during any of the investigations?
not that we know of. We never had Emily come out
No,
and
okay.
talk to us by name. So
We always get Emily, and it's weird because we get
We've been at
Emily.
different locations. We've had her.
Yeah, and
Oh,
we get her
wow.
as the little girl, and then we get her as the man, kind of posing as Emily with a deep voice. And we had one of the best disembodied voices in the basement. It just showed up on our camera.
Oh, wow.
We couldn't remember the history, and Sean said, "Wasn't Emily the mother of the Hetheringtons?" And I was like, "No, Emily was." And I paused, and its voice just showed up on my camera saying, "I'm Emily," in like a deep voice. We didn't hear it live either. It was crazy.
Oh wow.
that's creepy.
Yeah. That's my favorite location. I just love that place.
It's a beautiful place too, man. It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not far from us.
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
like 5 minutes away from where we live. So that's why I can do the second one, because it's like we could jump in the car and be at the Bel Air house in like 12 minutes. So
Yeah.
close by, it's right across the river from where I grew up in Moundsville, and it's like a hometown. You know, you feel like you're playing for the home team when you're in Bel Air. So
For sure. Did you guys get to do the Ross house yet?
Yeah.
Which is also-
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, we did that back when it was the Escape Zone, and I think she's
Yeah.
taking the
Oh,
Escape
okay.
Zone
I do
days
remember
out.
that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The episode that we did at the Ross house was the No Escape from This Haunted House, I think is the name of the episode. Had some creepy stuff come through there. It was just featured in our last compilation video that we released this week. We had Kristen was there with us investigating, and we had a voice come through the spirit box and say, "I'm the devil," or something like that,
Yeah.
which was really creepy. And many other things there. That's a creepy old house too.
Yeah. I would definitely want to check that one out. I think
Yeah.
was Kristen with you guys when she caught the shadow figure at the Ross house? I think it was, or was it Escape? It was when the Escape Zone. It was the Escape Zone or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think she, if I'm remembering correctly, I think she might have been with Epic Paranormal, or she may have been with Sean Austin.
Oh, okay.
If I'm remembering the story, don't quote me on that, but I think I remember her telling that story, and I think that's who she was with.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah, thank you.
And I just wanted to say, because I saw Kat in the chat here posting about it, she said she's excited to meet us. We're excited to meet the whole ACG team as well, because I know they're going to be
ACG is
there this
awesome.
weekend. So
Yeah,
haven't
for
met
sure.
them, but we're excited to finally get a chance to meet them, because we've been friends on social media for a little while now. So,
hmm
but if
Yeah,
if
they're
Kat is
awesome.
still here, I wanted to just acknowledge that we saw it. Didn't want her to feel like we were ignoring her.
Have you guys been to the Bell yet?
Me and Jen have. They haven't.
Okay.
No.
When we went to Monroe House, actually, like we're friends with Nick and Angie.
Yeah.
So like we actually went to Bel Air with Nick and Angie when they were in our area, and Nick actually won my fantasy football league, because we're in a fantasy football league together too.
I'm still calling BS on that, but
Yeah, Mikey was.
I don't do it, so they can have fun.
Yeah, we just had Nick and Sean on 2 nights ago.
Oh, cool.
Because we were trying to get everybody, you know, that's on the flyer on, and you know, obviously from Bell Mansion and everything.
Yeah.
But the only team we weren't able to get on was Paranormal Nightmare, which I did talk to them, and then they told me to send them an email. I sent them an email, but I never heard anything back.
Wow.
So I was trying to cram everything in, you know.
Yeah. They are also very busy guys. They
Yeah, I'm
still
sure.
work full time and do their show.
So yeah, they film on the weekends, and during the week they're working their full-time jobs. So and Josh is
I feel their pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can be tough to nail down sometimes, just because they're always go. But yeah, the Bell is one of our favorite places that we've investigated, at least in the past 2 years. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous mansion.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Lots of creepy evidence there too,
Nice.
and probably one of the best Estes sessions that we've done in the past 2 or 3 years,
Oh,
either on the 4th floor. Only because it called out the number of fingers that Dave was holding up. You know, I'm
No, that's
blindfolded,
good.
headphones on, and he was, I think, was it 4 fingers you had up?
Three.
Three fingers. and you can hear it come through the spirit box because we record the sweep of what the person with the headphones is hearing. We put that on an audio recorder, so I can sync that with the video and play it as it comes through, and so the audience can hear what the person listening hears. And you hear it very clearly. He says, "How many fingers am I holding up?" Tell Ryan. And it says 3 up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that you guys did that. I need to start doing that because I know we use the S box from Ghost Up, and it has that recording ability. So that's definitely something I want to start trying. How do you sync that up though? Because it seems like it would be difficult.
Well, it is. I mean, we had to find a different way to do it. The first time we tried to do it, we used the internal record mechanic of the S box, and it was a nightmare. So what we do is we actually just get a little auxiliary 3.5 to 3.5 dual male cord and plug that into the spirit box and run that into the microphone port of just a regular digital voice recorder, and then run the headphones into the headphone jack of the voice recorder. So what you're listening to in the moment is actually the live recording of the digital voice recorder. So all you need is a voice recorder and that other cord. And then before you start the spirit box, you hit record on the recorder before you plug in the microphone jack, and you just simply do a sync with the camera, say, this test a session, clap, snap, whatever, to sync it with the video. And then plug in the microphone, and you're good to go.
Awesome. Yeah. I've been trying.
It really is. I mean, it took us a while to figure it out, but once we did, it becomes easy, and we've drilled it into our heads now. Well, I've drilled it into our heads, I should say. Do not forget a sync clap. Do not hit record once the spirit box is starting, because that makes my life a nightmare. Don't step on that.
Phil, did you write all that down?
Oh God, I can't remember. Give me some instructions typed up. I'll be good.
Maybe by the end of this year, Paranormal Quest may have a solution for everybody.
Just to make it easier.
I love doing those SDs methods. They're fun. I used to suck at them in the beginning, but now the more you do it and the more in tune you are, you're like, okay. And I remember the one time we were at the Bel Air house. I did an SDs method, and
Western Financial.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
It's a radio
That's the greatest thing I ever said. Because I heard it, and I'm like, I'm just going to say this is because I'm hearing it like loud and clear. And I think Jen was actually watching me, or somebody was. I think I was downstairs or something, and everybody started laughing because it was a freaking insurance. Oh man,
that's why I always love the S box, but that's one thing that does happen from time to time. It gets stuck on a station, you get a little bit of radio bleed, but it's still my favorite spirit box.
I don't know if we've ever had that issue with ours.
No, really?
I think that's actually one of the sweep options, to where when it picks up a signal, it'll actually slow down and stop for a second. Normally when that happens, I'll just hit the forward button again, and it'll just get back to the straight sweep. So the S box has always been, I feel like, the best spirit box for us for the Estes as well, just because it does seem to have I don't know, there's just something about the way the other spirit boxes record. Like the PSV7 has a little bit too much white noise and sweeping, and the S box can be loud as well, but sometimes the PSV7 you're listening to and it makes your brain rattle.
What other types of experience do you guys like to do whenever you capture stuff?
Hello, Emma. And I saw Tommy say, "What's up? What's up, Tommy?" Really, we love, our favorite experiment that we've been doing since 2012 is abandonment.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yes. So we, when we start every single investigation where it's possible, there's some locations we can't do it. Like if it's outside and there's, like it's like a bad area or something, and we're afraid to leave a camera alone without it getting stolen or something like that, we won't do it then. But we always start our investigations with setting up 3, 4, maybe 5 cameras if we're really lucky, and I'm feeling like torturing Dave because he's the one that watches all of it. Set up the cameras and leave the building and go get dinner, lock it up, leave the building completely alone for about an hour to an hour and 10, hour 20 minutes, and come back and collect the cameras and start our investigation. And we've caught some of our best evidence on our abandonment, completely empty building, disembodied voices, footsteps.
I think I saw when you did that at Greenville, you had some cool stuff happen.
Yeah. Greenville was the most difficult to set up. That one we couldn't even get the cameras set up because stuff kept happening around us when we were trying to set up. It took us 45 minutes to set up 4 cameras.
Yeah. That place is so haunted. It's a shame that it's not open anymore.
I know.
Yeah, Marcus and Katie are actually coming with us to Wildwood Sanatorium on the 18th.
Oh, cool. Very
Yeah.
nice.
That's another one we need to get to.
Yeah.
Tell
We've
them we
never
said
been there.
hello.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah.
They're super nice people.
Yeah,
They're
for sure.
Wonderful. They're so wonderful. And it's crazy how you guys mentioned that whole like abandoned experiment. That happens a lot on the TV shows that I've watched. They just leave everything there. And they come back and like, oh my God, what happened?
And I will tell you, this is a little sneak peek because we literally just got back from this. So I'm not going to tell you what we caught because I want people to be excited and people to, to be surprised when they watch the episode. And Harriman Hospital, we had probably the wildest thing happen on abandonment. Ooh. And I am so excited to share that one. Like it is one that Dave was asleep and I called him, I texted him, brought him out of his room. I was like, you need to come here right now and watch this. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
When are you putting that one out?
2.5 weeks, 2 weeks.
March 18th.
Okay.
Cool.
That was our collaboration with the Spirit Stalkers, if you know those guys.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Spirit Stalkers came with us to the Harriman Hospital, and so
I think they'll be at the Bell. I think
they did say they're going to come to the Bell.
Yeah, I think they're going to be at ISS for that convention that we're doing. I think they're supposed to be there for that too.
Nice. I'm excited to watch that now. That's gonna be cool.
That's house we did that. Came back from lunch, and porch door opened on its own. Man gesture. That's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to Monroe?
Yes. Yeah, we did that around Thanksgiving. I want to say Thanksgiving of 2021.
Is that the one where we almost killed each other?
I think so. Yeah. We were very cranky on that investigation because we were very tired and we slept on the plywood floor and there wasn't really any heat except for the fire. And it was a very cold night and we woke up the next day and we were about ready to
murder each other.
Oh.
You're like, it's the house, I swear.
Oh, no. Yeah. We also wanted to strangle each other at the Hinsdale house.
No. The other one.
Oh, the other one. Oh my gosh. How many times have we wanted to kill each other? Oh, Whispers Estate.
Whispers, yeah.
Yeah, we also were mad at each other on that one, but that one passed after the activity started.
We actually we had the same thing at the Hinsdale house too. Yeah, we just our whole group just got in a huge fight like 2 days after.
Maybe it's something with that. I don't know. We were mad. I mean, I remember nothing that we tried to do went right at the Hinsdale house. I mean, we lost equipment and then eventually found it later on, but I was running around the house throwing stuff and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I think Miranda came with us on that one too.
She did.
My girlfriend
I actually
Miranda
watched that before we went.
And I actually had to apologize to her afterwards. I was like, I am so sorry that I was in such a bad mood on that one. I like, we hadn't been dating for that long at that point, maybe a little less than a year maybe, but I was like, I'm so sorry you saw that side of me. I was sleep deprived, tired, and I was like about ready to start throwing equipment around the room.
That's like the night we stayed there and the day after. I had panic attacks, and I haven't had panic attacks in years.
From where at the Hinsdale?
Yeah, the night we stayed there and the day after.
Oh wow!
I actually called off work the next day because I didn't sleep at all.
That is really weird. The oddest thing about it was we felt really agitated when we were there, but nothing happened inside the house. We had stuff happen out in the woods. We heard like drumming, which is something
that's what we
hear all the time.
Yeah.
We heard drumming out in the trees behind, and but then we went in the house and it was like so quiet and peaceful. And I think that also contributed to our frustration because we were hoping
I want
get some good activity.
I thought the house was just so relaxed, and I didn't have any issues sleeping. I didn't have any panic attacks or nightmares or none of that.
No, just the smell of my ass the whole night. I was like, I swear it's the demons.
All of us have like indigestion issues.
Yeah.
Mike's missing like 3 millimeters of his intestine and
millimeters,
or
30 centimeters.
30 centimeters. I got the wrong number. Thank you for correcting. Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah,
I
but
forgive you.
Oh, thank
Mikey, did you
Yeah.
say you're missing 4 meters of your intestines?
No, actually, it's crazy because I have Crohn's disease, so I
Yeah.
had surgery, and they always told me I had 3 centimeters removed, and then the GI doctor months later was like, "So yeah, you're Mike. You're the guy who works for the oil company. You got 30 centimeters of your intestine removed." I was like, "You told me they told me 3." He's like, "Oh, it was a typo, but you're good."
Wow, it's a typo, but you're good.
Yeah. He's like, "You got plenty of feet left."
That's so funny. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, he was gassing up the place that night too.
It was the demons, Phil. It wasn't me.
So you guys have any locations that you haven't been that you want to go to?
Oh gosh, so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of them out there. I mean, Missouri State Pen would be really cool to go check out.
Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be cool.
definitely on my bucket list.
Winchester Mystery. And then we want to get to the UK too, because we went to Australia at the end of last year and did a bunch of locations there. And thanks to Adelaide Haunted Horizons, it's the most fun trip that we've been on and the nicest ladies. And if you ever are in Australia, you want a good paranormal experience at one of these locations, hit up Adelaide Haunted Horizons. But we want to go to the UK and do 30 East Drive and a bunch of those old haunted places there. And then, of course, in Scotland, Edinburgh Vaults.
Mm-hmm. All kinds of places.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hit up the Ancient Rams Inn.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were just out of the country, right? Where were you guys at?
Adelaide.
Australia.
Yeah, we went to Adelaide and Victoria. South Australia and Victoria. We did the Airedale Lunatic Asylum was just absolutely wild. But it was weird because when we were investigating, if it weren't for the people that were popping up every now and again, like the tour guides and stuff that were like, very thick Australian accents, if it wasn't for them, it doesn't feel any different. Like that was one thing we were curious to find out was like, does the energy of paranormal investigations change from country to country? But like, if I would have shut my eyes, I would have not known any different. I wouldn't have felt like I was in Australia. So.
Now, if you run like a spirit box, like does the language change? Like, will be somebody with an Australian accent coming through? Or?
Yeah, generally. I mean, we had a really creepy spirit box response at a asylum / jail for the criminally insane in Ararat, Victoria, which is in Australia. Of course, there was a guy there named Gary Webb. Well, he went by Gary Webb. His real name was Gary David, and he was the only man to ever actually have a law passed to keep him locked up in prison, and him solely alone. The entirety of the Australian federal government passed a law called the Citizens Protection Act to keep him locked up, and they put it on his head and his head alone to keep him in prison, jail, a mental hospital, because they felt he was such a danger to society.
Wow.
And there's a whole long story behind him, and because he would trying to say this tactfully because YouTube doesn't like certain words.
Remove.
He would SH. We'll say that. If for those that know that acronym. But he would do it for attention, and he would do it to get moved, sent to medical. And they said that there were, what did they say, 74 parts of his body that he cut off.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, just absolutely wild. But anyway, I asked when we were in J Ward, I was like, there was a guy here, and he had a law passed to keep him locked up. He was a really dangerous guy. He had threatened to kill a bunch of people in here. Can you tell me his name? Super clear woman's voice comes through the spirit box and goes, Gary. I mean, super clear.
Wow.
That was one of the wildest spirit box responses that we got there.
No. No, Australia it was originally a penal colony in general. So I'm sure there's a lot of crazy history just all around at that location. Now, did you run into any crazy critters? Because I know Australia has some very intimidating animals out there.
Yeah, there sure are a lot of intimidating things out there, especially if you're someone who doesn't like those things to begin with. They have what they call huntsman spiders, and they are massive. And like just the thorax or whatever they call it, the body is like as big as your hand.
Oh,
and saw 2 of those, which was too many. And But other than that, it was pretty tame. We got to like hand feed kangaroos and
awesome.
all kinds of stuff. It was really cool.
We saw a koala in the wild come down the tree, not wanting to preserve. We saw one. It was actually in a suburban neighborhood. It was just like we would see deer going through our backyard. They see koalas and kangaroos going through their backyard. And we were driving on the way home from an investigation, and CAG, who let us stay at her house the whole time we were there for the 27 days. We were on our way back to her house, and we drove down this road, and she just like whipped the car over and says koala, and we looked at the koala coming down the tree, and then it starts walking down the sidewalk, and
that's awesome.
Shit.
Very true, Jack. Very true.
Now, did you see any what I think they're called flying foxes? They're like the giant like werewolf looking bats in Australia.
Yeah, when we were at the Adelaide Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
They were all outside the Adelaide Zoo in the treetops, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I mean, and there were thousands of them in the tops of those trees.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those
And
things
they
are
looked like
terrifying.
they were the size of an eagle, like that big, and there were thousands of them in the top of those trees taking off. And it was daytime too, so that was even more wild. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's more terrifying than any paranormal thing you can encounter.
Bats.
Yeah, just all those animals.
Yeah, Jason is terrified of bats. They don't bother me so much, but
Yeah, I don't mind bats. It's just the flying fox bat. I think I'd have an issue with if I ran.
Well, talking about like giant bats and stuff like that, would you guys ever do any cryptid type stuff?
we've talked about it before. Like taking a little bit of a break from the ghost stuff and doing maybe like a season of cryptids or UFOs or some kind of something different. We never really have, but I think that it would be interesting to delve into just maybe for a little bit and see what happens.
yeah, Dave keeps bringing it up, and I would love to do it. I just feel like, for the sake of if people are going to sit down and watch us look for cryptids, I want to have the equipment that is specially designed to, whether it be multiple thermal cameras, and I want to actually go into it with the ability to capture something if we go out there and look for it. I don't just want to walk through the woods with a night vision camera and then hear a couple of twigs snap and then go.
Yeah, no.
From being from West Virginia, I know there's all sorts of cryptids in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, Mothman and the Flatwoods Monster, and apparently the Grafton Monster.
The Grafton Monster.
The Grafton.
They've made a whole 2 seasons of that on Mountain Monsters.
There's another couple of guys, or another few guys from West Virginia. Those Mountain Monsters boys.
I gotta watch those guys.
I've watched them before, yeah.
I think I've caught a couple episodes of them too.
They are absolutely ridiculous.
And it's like a train wreck. You can't look away once you start watching them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way possible. It's like you start watching them and you just can't look away.
I'm sure they know it. They have to know it.
I just don't get it. Like, what do you do when you get in? Like, if Bigfoot comes at you, like, you just, I don't know, you die. It seems like I just never know what you're gonna do if you actually see a cryptid. Yeah.
You just have to run faster than the person next to you. That's what
Exactly.
What's up, BJ?
There's BJ.
Oh, you.
One of our biggest supporters on the channel, BJ and Sarah and all kinds of them in here tonight.
Damn, that's fantastic.
Thank you guys for coming over from our channel and
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
Bumping the Night Society here. So
heck yeah.
Which will all be together this weekend. So anybody's gonna be in Indiana, Bell Mansion Saturday, we'll all be there.
Yeah, you guys are hosting the public the night before, right?
Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, and the night after.
Friday and Saturday too. Okay, cool.
Heck yeah, man, that's
It's gonna be a long weekend.
Yeah,
yes,
for
it
sure.
is.
But it's going to be a lot of foam. What am I talking about? Fun.
Might get weird.
Big foam party there.
Fill the whole mansion with foam. Foam party.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I always like to ask this question when it comes to like paranormal people. Do you guys like haunted houses, like the entertainment type ones? Do you guys like doing those?
I love them personally.
Yeah.
I worked for 12 years in a haunted house.
Yeah.
So they do hold a special place in my heart. I love scaring people in the art.
Did
of
you work in
scaring-
Monsville?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
So, yep, worked in every October. I was in the basement of that old prison, jumping out. Scaring
Probably saw
people.
you because I've always been going
Yeah.
there for years.
Yeah. I'm sure you did many a times, and it is a blast. I love scaring people, and there's just a certain camaraderie you get with people whenever you're in the trenches of a dark, scary building, hiding in the dark, waiting for people to walk by, and you jump out and make them shit their pants. It's just there's just a special bond that's created there. So, but I also love going through them. So
Me and Phil and Troy, who's in part of our team, all work for Scarehouse. Actually, I have a Scarehouse shirt on right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we
Got the guns
know
out too.
yeah, Sean and I have been like, close friends for what, 8 years now, and that's how we, became, doing this stuff too. And now, do you guys get the same scare going through an actual like entertainment one as you were going through an actual like real haunted house, or is it a little different kind of thing, or is it kind of like on the same level?
I don't know. It's like, I'm sure as you know, it once you work in a haunted house, it kind of ruins the mysticism of the experience of going through other haunted houses. Mm-hmm. And when you walk through going, wow, that's a really cool set. I wonder how they did that. I wonder how they did that effect. And it's not so much for the, oh, I'm scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still love it. I still love Halloween. Both of us. Halloween is our favorite holiday.
Amen.
It just October hits, the leaves change, and we turned into professional creeps.
And that's the cool thing too, man. It's just like you always have that level of like creepiness that you love doing. Doesn't matter what it is. It's like one or the other,
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys are big fans of like horror films and all that stuff too. And
Oh yeah.
We always talked about making a horror film, but it just never happened because we're so busy with paranormal investigation documentaries.
Yeah.
But maybe one day we'll make a horror film.
Maybe
You guys need any extras?
Yeah, maybe when if the channel ever gets big enough where we can actually take some time off and do something else, maybe we'll do a horror film then.
Hey, you guys can make a found footage horror film about, paranormal shit and, just like have people dressed up in the background like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, just throw in some real evidence. Yeah. Like a hybrid.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean,
like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, those are good movies.
Counts, yeah.
Yeah, the first one was like, holy shit, this is good.
Yeah.
The sequel was actually just as good, if not better, I think.
I think I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, I don't think I saw the sequel either.
It's good. It's much more action-y, but it's still pretty on the level of the first one. And of course, the Blair Witch Project. Everybody knows about that one.
Love the Blair Witch.
Oh, I think that was the first movie to revolutionize the found footage horror film. Matter of fact,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because people thought it was real for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's funny how you mentioned that, Mikey. The mother of the one female lead kept getting sympathy cards in the mail because of the call. Yeah, she's like, what? But they did.
I remember, like everybody thought it was real until the director accepted an award, like at MTV, and he was like, "It's not real."
I remember them showing him on Jay Leno. They had the cast in the at the top of the audience or whatever because
Hey, one of the cooler facts about that movie, the tent scene, the infamous tent scene, the actual reactions from the actors were legit because I guess the director wanted to mess with him, and I think he had a boombox with him that he played like little kids like laughing and stuff, and like put it right in the woods so it would freak them out. And then he decided to take his hands and like comb at the actual tent, which scared everybody half to death. And that's the actual footage you see in that movie. It's like, yeah, I just wanted to fuck with him a little bit.
Oh wow!
I'm like, you're
That's
such an
cool.
asshole,
That's really cool.
Some of the best moments in movie history are happy accidents.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Bob Ross quote too. Happy accidents.
That's right. Little trees, little happy trees.
I miss that man so much.
Looks like Sarah just said they have Fisher cats in Wisconsin.
Oh, geez.
Don't know what a Fisher cat is.
Yeah, that's
I like your puck
I know what a Cheshire.
Sean.
What is a Fisher cat?
I don't know, but it sounds terrifying.
Do you guys know what puck
Oh, look
wedgies
at
are?
that thing.
It looks like a badger or something. Oh.
You guys know what puck wedgies are?
What is it?
Wedgies.
Puck wedgies?
Puck wedgies?
Yeah, you went to the Hinsdale house. You guys know about the puck wedgies out in the woods.
Oh, why
I
did
don't know.
Boots
Mikey's
pop up?
always like talking about them. That's what.
Well, it's because we just investigated the Hinsdale
Oh, the
house.
cryptid.
Yeah, it's the cryptid out in the woods.
Because you
And
were
then,
saying something. There's by Bell or something. There's
it's like an hour away from Bell. I was trying to look up like locations just around Bell, and I can't remember. It was some park that's like an hour away, but it claimed that they had puck wedgies there, and I'm like, we should go. We should go after Bell.
Oh, I noticed that Operation Graveyard mentioned Cannibal Holocaust. That's probably one of the most like insane, like found footage cannibal films I think I've ever watched in my entire life.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard
Found
of
footage cannibal film.
Yeah, it's a cannibal film. That's why
How
it's called
many?
Cannibal
How?
Holocaust.
So what's the competition? How many other found footage cannibal films have you watched?
Now that I think about it, I think I saw another that was Cannibal
Really?
Fear. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I actually own a Cannibal Holocaust.
Well, they're talking about the whole thing with like the director and that. Didn't he, like the Italian director for that movie, got like tried for murder or something?
Well, basically, he had the actors sign the contract saying, "I want you to disappear for a year to get the impression that you actually did get killed on camera." So once they found out about this film, they didn't know that at the time, and he went to court and he's like, "No, all the actors are fine." He brought them in; they were all healthy and everything. They just wanted to market that as because And I think I can't remember if they actually used like real tribesmen or if they were just actors. I can't remember, but yeah, he told the actors, "I want you to disappear, make yourself completely like unknown to society," and they kind of screwed him over a little bit. And at the time, he didn't have any care in the world to make the movie. And I heard like years down the road, he actually regrets practically the whole film, especially some of the scenes, which I don't want to get too much into, but it's, I'm sure you can guess there was a lot of like animal killing scenes and stuff. But
when you guys were out in Australia, did you see any like, tribes? And I know there's supposed to have a lot of like native tribes in Australia.
No. I mean, the thing is that Australia's culture is very much like the Aboriginal people in Australia. They have them pretty integrated into society, and of course there are some of them that are off the grid and out on their own. We didn't really get a chance to meet or see any of them, but I mean, I'm sure there probably were Aboriginal people that we met, but we just didn't realize it because
I'd be curious, like what their paranormal views would be,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was something that I actually wanted to, I said I would like to talk to them about. It's like, what is their view on spirituality? What do they believe in? Because every culture has their own beliefs on it, and it would be very fascinating to sit down and maybe next time we go to Australia. This time we were packed to the gills, running and gunning, and from the moment we set foot on Australian soil until the moment we left, every day was filled with new locations, new investigations.
Every second
of every day.
Now, you guys like? I'm sorry, go for it, Mike.
Oh, I was just gonna say, do you have a plan on going back soon, or?
Nothing in the works right now. I mean, I think if we had a more planned out schedule with some rest days in it, we would be more up for it, because that one just about took us out. Me for sure, just about took me out.
Well, you also got COVID after we got back, so that also didn't help.
Yeah,
that puts a wrench in things.
How long is that plane trip?
24 hours.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it was a lot, and that was my first time ever on a plane. Was that trip?
Wow.
Yeah.
Picked a good
That's a good way to get acclimated.
Yeah.
Now, how do you ship your equipment? Like, are you able to bring stuff onto the plane, or did you ship it separately? Like, how'd that work out?
No, we brought it all with us, and we had to pack it especially. I mean, every time we fly, we have to pack it a certain way. Like when we went to Colorado, we have a big Pelican case that we normally travel with in the car, and so whenever we travel via airline, we have to unpack our Pelican case and get our airline bags, and every single rechargeable battery that we have to tape up with electrical tape. And then we have to make sure that anything that has a lithium ion battery, anything that has a rechargeable battery, that has to go on the carry-on, because you can't check that in the check bags. So we're running around the airport with a carry-on that weighs 35 pounds strapped to our back. And then a secondary carry-on.
Yeah, we've got it down pat now, though.
We do.
No.
Yeah.
I remember when we landed, like on the way back from from Adelaide. We had a layover in Auckland, New Zealand. We never got to see New Zealand. That's one place I'd love to go and see, because you see when you fly over top of it, you see the beautiful mountaintops, and it's like the Lord of the Rings, because that's where they filmed the Lord of the Rings. So everybody knows the New Zealand landscape. But we landed in New Zealand on the way home, and we had 17 minutes to get from one plane to the next, and we had to go through international security in Auckland. And they pulled us aside and started to unpack our bags to check our equipment and stuff. And so there are a lot of international airport securities that will look at you funny when they x-ray your bag, and there's 72 rechargeable batteries in there, and they're like,
what are you guys doing?
They see like a spirit box. They're like, what the hell is this?
Right.
Yeah. But it works every time. As soon as they start taking the stuff out, be like, we're ghost hunters. We're ghost hunters. And like, okay. And that makes sense. So.
Did they ever, like, whenever you tell them that too, do they ever like, oh, tell me more? Do they ever get like interested in hearing more about it, or is it just like, okay, carry on kind of thing?
Usually everybody has their own quick ghost story they want to tell real fast.
Mhm.
It's like, I've seen a ghost here, and here. And it's like, that's a cool story, man, but we're about to miss our plane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's always the people you don't expect too, it seems like.
Yep.
Yeah. I got pulled over after we investigated Dar Mine, and the cop pulled me over, and he's like, what are you doing out? It's like 3:00 in the morning. And I was like, oh, I was just investigating Dar Mine. I'm a paranormal investigator. Oh man, you got to see this picture I got from Gettysburg.
Yeah.
There are so many people that have so many paranormal experiences. It's like, and that's why sometimes when we're in a hurry and we're in the airport or we're somewhere, we won't even bring it up, because we're like, oh gosh, if we bring it up, we're going to be standing here for 15 minutes because and then we're going to miss our plane, or we're going to, be late to where we're going. But yeah, if we have time, we love to sit there and listen to people's own experiences and their own stories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like Mikey said, and you guys said, just the most random people. I ran into a friend of mine at Target the one day. We were just chatting, and I told her, like, yeah, I do this stuff. It's fun. It's a really cool hobby. She's like, oh, yeah, my house is haunted. And we were talking for 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, I never would expect this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it happened in Australia, too. We would stop for dinner someplace, and, they would be like, oh, my house is haunted. You want to come over to my house? And it's like, oh.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, do you guys do houses or anything like that?
Sometimes.
From time to time, for some reason, we have a very hard time finding like residential cases. Like, we'll post out about it all the time, and it's just crickets. And I'm not really sure why. I don't know how the Foreman brothers, like, everything they do is a residential. And I'm like, I don't know what your voodoo is to get these, but I would like some of it. But yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of interesting residential cases, and we kind of strayed away from it for a little bit, just in fear of our lives. And
Seems like it's hard to like tell which ones are legit and which ones ain't, because I know we've had some weird messages from people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You guys did that one in Fayette County recently. You guys released that episode a couple weeks ago. I think it was in Fayette County.
Oh, we called it the Haunted House on the Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and funny enough, that one was pretty easy to find, and it's one that we've been talking about going to for a while, because my girlfriend Miranda, her mom's best friend owns that house. So it's we sometimes find residentials that way. And that's always better, because at least we know the person that is making the paranormal claims is of sound mind.
Yeah, they're not going to lock you in the basement and torture you.
Yeah.
Right.
We've had some wild
super fan or
experiences
something.
going to houses. I mean, we've had ones that we couldn't even put on. We didn't even start investigating. Like, we got there and we said, okay, tell us what experiences you've had. And when they were done, we're like, okay, well, we'll come back. Maybe we'll give you a call. And we just left, because, I mean, there was one that we did. This was years ago, but we were going to film an episode, and this family, the dad thought the ghosts were stealing his guns and weed. And that's like, no,
Guns and weed.
I think that might be one of your children.
And
then there was
like,
one
oh,
the
the
other
ghost
guy.
did it.
The ghost, and that's what when the dad found out that his guns and weed were gone, the kid, the kid was like, Dad, it was the ghost.
That's awesome.
You see this like
Yeah.
weed smoke come out of nowhere. You're like, what the hell?
But it's like when Nick was on the other day, and we were talking about residential cases and that, and he said he'll give them like pretty much like a psych evaluation. He'll ask them all these questions, like personal stuff and everything, to see if like they're legit mind, you know.
Mm-hmm. Even then, you still don't know, you know.
Yeah.
And another reason we don't really like doing them is because like 95% of people have pets and they don't want to take their pets with them, and it just causes a lot of contamination. And
yeah,
for sure.
As you can tell from our pet that shut off the computer. So yeah, that's what we always tell them. We're like, you know, we'll rent you a hotel room, but it's got to be pet friendly, because if you have dogs, we want you to take the dogs with you, because if we're in the middle of an investigation and we hear the dogs whining, or one of them moves in their crate, or you know, one of them barks, or kind of causes a lot of contamination. We had one house, and we did turn this into an episode. It was the funniest thing. We did a house in Kentucky. This amazing guy named Bill. He let us come in and investigate, and he was good childhood friends with a friend of ours named Pam Korekis. And so she kind of got us the investigation and said, Bill wants you to come in and investigate his house because he has all this weird stuff happening. And the stories that he were telling, I mean, he's a very sane guy. He's not like he's not imagining or hallucinating any of this stuff. But he happened to mention in passing, but never actually said it and like told us outright that he had a cat. I mean, he mentioned it in passing that there was a cat in the house. We were there for 12 hours or something like that, and we never once saw the cat.
Never heard it. We set up for abandonment, which was in the middle of our investigation, 6 or 7 hours in, and we left. Within 3 minutes of us walking out the door, when we went to go get dinner and the cameras were rolling, in the basement, you just see a cat walk out of the laundry room. And then the cat walks over and starts sniffing the paranormal music box, and it goes off and the cat jumps back. And then the cat comes over and starts playing with one of our light up cat balls on the floor, and then
that's cute.
That's
goes
awesome.
Upstairs and starts setting off the REM pod and jumping up and looking in the camera on the bed. And it's like,
but the real question was, is it a ghost cat?
that's true.
But then,
No, that's awesome. That's good that you actually did the episode too, because that showcases like in investigations, it's not always paranormal stuff. That's
exactly
intriguing.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've always stuck by, is whether we get something or not, we upload the video of exactly what happened to us. So
Yeah.
Ghost cat.
That's all right. Ghost cat.
We actually had a ghost cat at the Bel Air house. It just showed up like when I was reviewing the camera footage. We just kept getting all these meows, and no one was responding to it. We didn't hear it live. And on one of the ghost apps, which I still question, Sean, but I'm coming.
You guys use ghost apps, right?
They do.
Yeah, we use GhostTube. That's about the only one we use, because we're good friends with Amy and Jared, the creators of the app, and they explain exactly how it works and everything that goes into it. So, but yeah, I would say that there are some things that come through there, and I'm like, yeah, that's just a random word being spit out. But then there's other times where I'm like, how did it know to say that?
Yeah, I'm coming over a little bit. I'm still a little hestant, but I'm coming over. But it did say
Greenville had you
cat.
convinced too.
Yeah, it said my son's name, baby.
And then
and I was like,
it said infant, his son's name, and then as I'm calling him on the walkie-talkie, it says dad. Like he wasn't even in the room with me.
Yeah, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I wasn't a fan of that one.
Wow,
that is creepy.
But the ghost cat at Bel Air, that one, I actually did an evidence reveal with Kristen, and she said that there was a cat when she lived there. She would go to Pittsburgh on the weekends, and one weekend these kids broke in and locked the cat in one of the cabinets in the basement, and it died. She didn't find it for like a week or two. And she's like, I bet that's why it showed up. And we kept smelling cat pee in the basement too. So it was kind of weird.
If you're a cat, meow.
Yeah. That's what his wife said. We were picking on her.
She tried blaming and saying I was the one that said that, but we have it on video. It was her saying that.
I'm like, I'm sure the cat speaks English.
Yeah.
That your question.
That's actually where Ryan's cat came from.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
really?
cat, my cat Nova that shut off the computer. That was a whole story in and of itself. We were doing an event there. We were filming a investigation / psychic walkthrough for a guy named Rick Hayes. Is that who it was? It was. I think it was Rick Hayes. Yeah, and we were in the middle of one of these sessions that he was doing a walkthrough or a group reading of the people. And I walked outside, and all of a sudden, this orange little soaking wet cat came running up to me, and this was 2016. And she just came right in, sweetest little thing. And I said at that point, I was like, if you're still here at the end of the night, you're going to come home with me. And
That's awesome.
we were there for another 6 to 7 hours or something, and that cat was still there on the porch of the Bel Air house. So I was like, all right, you're coming home with me.
Oh, that's so nice.
The neighbor kids were like tormenting it, and
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
her, yeah.
Her.
You talk about her like you don't know her, like she didn't just ruin his life.
Now, have you run into any paranormal evidence of animals?
Actually at my parents' house, never documented, but growing up we had a cat. Her name was Sephra, and she passed away from cancer. And then I moved out of the house not long after that happened. And my dad, who was never really a big believer in the paranormal, would hear, because she used to sit in the upstairs window and she would jump down, and he would hear that sound of jumping onto the just like plywood floor that's up there. And that would happen for a while, and then it stopped, and he was convinced that was her spirit jumping in and out of the window there.
Like a residual cat spirit up in the upstairs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But as far as on the show, I don't think so.
No, we did have that. I mean, we always attributed it to being a gnome, which actually, funny enough, BJ just put that in the chat there. When Sean Foreman saw the black shadow that looked like a cat. Yeah. We always thought that was the gnome that Dan always claims to the owner of the Blackford County Jail. What did I say?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
I can't remember what location. I just totally went off into a dream world there. Anyway, when we did the Blackford County Jail investigation, collaborating with Paranormal Nightmare, we caught a really creepy short shadow that ran in front of Sean, and he saw it and heard it as well. And I always attributed that to being a gnome, which is what the owner Dan claims that runs around the jail there. But thinking about it, it could have been a cat. It could have been a ghost cat. It could have been. Who knows? Because it was just a solid little shadow that just shot across from right to left.
No.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think the Bel Air cat was the only one we ran into. I don't think we ran into any other
yeah, that's the only one I can think of.
At least not yet.
Yeah, Sean and I made friends with like a little cat, and whenever we went to ISS, we stopped by at Billy Creek's abandoned town right next to
they
the
have a
hotel.
Cat that was bowling all that out there.
Oh,
took some pictures with it.
Yeah, so cute. So cute.
That's awesome.
I think when we were at ISS, we were leaving for abandonment to go get dinner, and we saw a guy just dropping kittens off on the side of the driveway leading up to the sanatorium.
Oh, not really.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and we told Greg about it. He was like, "Okay, I'll be watching out for him, and I'll tell the police that there was someone dumping cats on the property." But yeah, he literally had a box, and he was just dumping kittens on the side of that driveway that leads up to the sanatorium.
That's terrible.
Jeez, that's awful.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
No, at least he took them out of the box first. A lot of people just leave them in the box and just go. It's crazy though.
Yeah, sorry to bring down the mood.
No, it's just
we were having a joke. It's like when we were in Australia, I had a moment like that. We were in a thrift store, and I was buying a little ceramic koala, and this lady at the counter of the thrift store was like, "I have a story about a koala that I could tell you." And I thought, "Oh, koalas are cute. Here's a fun story." And she's like, "I hit one with my car yesterday."
oh jeez.
And she goes,
Oh, my
"It was
God.
alive, so I took it to animal rescue, but they still had to put it down because it had chlamydia." And I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Holy crap.
Yeah, I was like, "This is a sad story." Thank you for ruining my afternoon.
Oh Lord.
Hey, I brought up the dead cat thing, so that's my fault.
Oh my Lord. That's nuts.
So what besides the bell, what do you guys have coming up after that?
Oh man.
We have 4 investigations in the bag, so I'd like to sleep for a week because so we did we did 5 investigations in 7 days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So and then came straight back and we've been working and I've been editing all week, and now we got the Bell Mansion event. I'd like to take next weekend to just like hibernate for a second.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that.
Go. But what else do we have?
As far as places booked, nothing right now. We're always looking for new places. So if anybody knows of any or has suggestions for us to go to that you haven't seen us go to, I'm always looking for places, because after 12, 13 years, it's like it's very difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
The rivers run dry, as they say.
Yeah.
So, but that's why we've had to travel. I mean, there's lots of places if we're willing to jump on a plane again and go to California or Colorado or all over the country. But
have you been a lot on the West Coast at all?
We've never investigated on the West Coast. We spent some time out there. We went out 2 days early because we flew out of LAX to go to New Zealand, and we spent a few days there, and we didn't get to do any investigating, but it's some place that I fell in love with, and I will live somewhere out there at some point in my life. It's just incredible.
Now, have you ever stayed at a location for an extended period of time, a haunted location?
not for the show, but
Yeah.
we actually did whenever if you remember back at the Bel Air house, when Paranormal Lockdown with Nick and Katrina came out, apparently Kristen was getting some threats from the locals that they were going to burn the house down or they were going to break in or whatever. So she needed some friends every once in a while to come over and stay the night and sleep at the Bel Air house. And I think there was a couple of nights that we slept at the Bel Air house. Didn't film or investigate, just stayed there and watched the place. And I'll never forget, that was the funny. If I still had that clip, I'd upload it to the channel because it was the funniest thing that ever happened to at least it's the funniest thing I think we've ever caught on camera. We were asleep and I had a camera set up in my room. And by the time I went to bed that night, I'd been up for 24 hours straight. And so I was in a deep, deep sleep, right? And I had set up the REM pod beside my bed. I was like, if anyone touches the REM pod, the camera will catch it. So I'm asleep, and all of a sudden the REM pod starts going off, and I'm not even kidding you when I say I did not stir one bit when the REM pod was going off right beside me. Like, that's how deep of a sleep I was in. And the REM pod went off for I'd say it went off for 30 or 45 seconds before I finally actually sat up and acknowledged it. And I sat up and I said, "Is that you touching that?" And then I laid back down and was immediately back to sleep. It's like, well, that was an exciting investigation.
That happened to us at the Inspiration House. We had a REM pod outside the rooms upstairs, and I was sleeping in the living room, and the REM pod was going. I think the battery actually died. I don't think it was anything paranormal, but it was going off all morning, and I'm just I'm sleeping on the couch in the living room, is someone gonna fucking get that? Can you guys please just wake up and go get this?
I didn't hear a goddamn thing.
Yeah, no one did.
Well, shit, me and Jen were sleeping. You were still investigating.
Yeah. I was the latest. I was up the latest, and then on top of it, I had to wake up the earliest to shut the damn REM pod off.
How is that place? We thought of going there. We just haven't.
Oh, it's worth it. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, we actually ran in. We have a psychic friend that we work with in the UK. And we had a lot of stuff happen. That's where we got Emily from the Bel Air house that showed up at another location. Mm-hmm. We had Jacob Hetherington show up, just the names being called out. We had Walter from Darmine, just all these names. And
I held that possessed doll over there.
Yeah. And then the psychic that we work with told us that there's a trickster. She actually commented before any of that stuff happened on a picture that Phil took earlier in the day, and she's like, "You guys are gonna run into a trickster tonight. Just know, don't feed him any names or anything like that." And it was true. I mean, we had flashlight activity that indicated that it was different people from different locations. Stuff coming through the Ovilus. It's worth a visit for sure.
But yeah, there's a little haunted museum in there too. That's where I held that doll at. But there's different little artifacts and everything in there. And some people don't want it open, but they opened it up for us or whatever. So because we wanted to, explore.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always the one that goes into stupid locations, in stupid areas of locations, and Sean's always the one that holds possessed items.
That was actually one of the very first nights of being there. I got a little like freaked out too because I think it was on the top floor of the like garage, I guess you can call it that. And whenever we were like doing the spirit box session, we heard Emily, and then I was like, and everybody just groans a little bit. I'm like asking Mikey, like, who's Emily? He's like, yeah, it's a supposed demon that thinks like they're following us. I'm like, oh
yeah, demon shot from the Bel Air
It freaked me out. Now I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm used to it now. But it's like it freaked me out a little bit. I was a little nervous. But now it's been like 2 years at least now. I'm like, yeah.
Now,
So anything else you guys want to promote?
I mean, if you haven't heard of it yet, go check out our new website. You can just hit up paranormal.quest. It'll take you right to it. We're also working on the 2023 West Virginia Penitentiary Paranormal Convention, which will be September the 9th this year. Tickets and stuff like that will be on sale pretty soon. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, we have this YouTube channel called Paranormal Quest. If anyone wants to check that out,
Yeah, we do new episodes every Saturday.
Like I say, we do nudes.
yeah, dude,
hey, that's coming next. Our OnlyFans is launching in a couple months. So.
scared and afraid.
That's funny.
Right. Did you ever hear about that old show that was making the rounds years ago, where they were emailing paranormal investigators, and it was going to be like Naked and Afraid, but
Yes.
Yeah, because we got that email a couple of times because they were like emailing every paranormal investigator because nobody was really wanting to do it. It's like, and then eventually they just got like it was like the equivalent of a comedian getting booed off stage. They just kind of got booted from it never actually happened.
Yeah.
So.
Mikey, was that you sending that email?
It was.
I never got that damn email.
Well, I know we're all excited to meet you guys this weekend. I'm glad you
yeah.
guys came on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for
Hopefully you had
having
a good
us.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, and we're excited to meet you guys too. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to party up at the Bell.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
get
yeah,
the poem party going.
You guys, you still have tickets, I think, available for Friday, right?
We do, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a few tickets left for Friday night. I know Saturday night is sold out, but Friday, I think there was something like maybe 10 or 12 tickets left for that one.
Okay, so make sure you
And,
guys get your tickets. What time does the investigation run?
It's 7 to 1, I believe.
Okay.
We're
So
gonna
make sure you get your tickets.
We're going to do it up right. We're going to do an Estes session up on the 4th floor. We're going to go down into that huge basement at the Bell Mansion. We're going to try and go talk to, was his name William, the guy from the guy that came with the coffin box, the military coffin box? I can't remember.
I haven't investigated there yet, so I didn't get to research it too much yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his name was William. But yeah, we're going to try and run the gambit. So Miss Clara Bell, and we're going to try and talk to all of them. So
We'll probably be zombies Saturday morning, but
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are doing that. That's
kind of
brutal.
crazy.
if you see us with a glazed look in our eyes, bring us over a cup of coffee, and we'll thank you kindly.
Are you leaving Friday to go up or tomorrow or?
Friday.
Friday, yeah. Tonight and tomorrow's focusing on finishing this episode for the Holy Cross Abbey that's going to be released on Saturday too. So we have an episode premiere on Saturday too.
You got a lot of stuff
Nice,
coming.
nice.
Yeah.
What time you guys putting that out?
5.
5:30.
5:30.
At the same time again.
Yeah, so we'll have the daytime convention and then the premiere and then the overnight.
Awesome.
Busy weekend.
Yes.
That's the way we like it, though.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't do well with idle time, so
Always got to be on the move.
Yeah,
For sure.
Well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys this weekend.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
See you this weekend.
Have a good rest of your
Yeah,
week.
brother.
You too.
see you later.
See you.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can find us here, and here, and here. Don't forget, Everybody needs a little bump in the night.